True. Does the press tell the truth? Forget the press, meet the truth. Seek truth, ask questions. Forget the press, meet the truth. Watch Meet the Truth every Sunday morning, 8 to 9 a.m. Discover the truth the press does not want you to know about. Money is debt, gold is your bet. Forget the press, meet the truth. Watch Meet the Truth every Sunday morning, 8 to 9 a.m.
Fluoride is a toxic industrial waste product from the phosphate fertilizer industry that's added to most municipal water supplies in the United States. Unfortunately, fluoride kills most of our beneficial enzymes, attacks the hypothalamus gland in the brain, inhibits proper functioning of the thyroid gland, can cause weakening of the bones, and can cause dental fluorosis in children, which is an irreversible mineralization disorder of the teeth. Sodium fluoride is also a central nervous system toxin that can diminish IQ, even in small doses. Although we're told that fluoride is added to our water supply to prevent cavities, numerous large-scale studies have shown no difference in tooth decay between fluoridated and non-fluoridated communities. If you'd like to keep this poison out of your body and your children's bodies, install a high-quality water filter in your home.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Rex from Zuka. Did you know that allowing your child to swallow toothpaste greatly increases their chances of having ugly fluorosis on their permanent teeth? Don't allow your child to swallow toothpaste.
Say ah.
Some 50 years ago, fluoride was considered a revolutionary miracle cure.
The compound that we use in our water is actually a chemical called hydrofluorosilicic acid. It's very toxic to the human body, and even in small amounts it accumulates in your bones. I would possibly even support a program that provided fluoridated toothpaste to the community, to people who wanted it, but I do not believe that fluoridating people against their will is the correct thing to do. Just to point out why I do not believe water fluoridation is safe, as Ms. Benson says, if anybody at home will take their tube of toothpaste and look on the back, it says active ingredients, sodium fluoride. And then you go down, and then it has a warning at the bottom. It says, if more than used for brushing is accidentally swallowed, please get medical help or contact a poison control center immediately. Fluoridation is not safe to swallow. It is good to rub onto your teeth in a toothpaste or mouthwash form. Do not swallow it, though.
Fluoridation gamble. We have 2 chapters of this in a book I've just written called The Case Against Fluoride. The fluoridation gamble is that fluoride could be damaging the growing tooth cells to the point that the enamel, when it finally erupts through the gums, is mottled or discolored. That this damage could be occurring to the growing tooth cells. And in the most recent study, incidentally, there are 400 genes which have been played around with when this is happening. That's the latest research. About 400 genes have been switched on during this process, or they're up or down regulated. That nothing else was happening to any other tissue in the growing child's body. That was a gamble, that you could do this to the teeth without doing any damage to the bone, without doing any damage to the brain, and so on. And now it's becoming clear that that is not the case, that the teeth are a window into what is happening to the bones. One of the extraordinary things about, again, the poor science, which has gone on for years and years and years on this issue, once the U.S. Public Health Service had determined that they were going to promote fluoridation and told everybody it was safe, they've had no inclination to do the solid scientific studies to track our health. The most basic studies have not been done in the United States, and they haven't been done in any of the other fluoridated countries, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Ireland. They've done no health studies in Ireland. They've done practically no health studies in Canada, practically none in Australia, and just one or two in New Zealand. And so that their attitude is, if you don't look, you don't find. But what we have to make sure to tell people is the absence of study does not mean the absence of harm. And when I say they haven't done the most basic studies, I really mean that. They haven't been collecting the fluoride levels in our bones, even though they know it accumulates in our bones. They haven't collected the fluoride levels in our urine or our blood in a systematic way to see how much the variation is in exposure in the population. They haven't used the fact that dental fluorosis and the severity of dental fluorosis is a very convenient and easy biomarker of exposure to fluoride by children, and they could be using that biomarker in a whole series of epidemiological studies with children to investigate the things which have been suggested might be related to fluoride in children. Lowering of IQ is an obvious one. Onset of puberty is another. Melatonin levels is another. Bone fractures is another. They are simply not using this obvious, completely obvious biomarker for epidemiological studies. There's been no attempt to see if there's an association with arthritis and living in a fluoridated community for X number of years, even though they know that the first symptoms of fluoride's damage to the bones is just like arthritis. So it's extraordinary. If this was any other chemical, things which would have happened on a routine basis. But no. In this particular case, fluoride is a protected pollutant, and fluoridation is a protected practice. And I'm sad to say, for some bureaucrats, it's more important right now to protect the practice of fluoridation than it is to protect the health of the American people. And that's a sad thing to have to say. So you've got people running for office, you've got young and old, you've got a whole mix of people. Don't get hung up on the politics. Just focus on stopping poisoning yourselves, your babies, your children, your old people. Get the fluoride out of your water, out of your babies, out of your body.